Hi, I'm Gene Bernardoni, a certified orthotist licensed in Illinois and owner of Ballert Orthopedic. At Ballert, we fit a wide variety of custom and non-custom orthoses for the spine and other parts of the body. An orthosis is a more technical term for a brace, and in what follows, we will be discussing what we do to design and fabricate our custom-made spinal orthoses or back braces, and why our procedures have made us one of the most respected orthotic companies chosen by spine surgeons. As a patient or caregiver, you're no doubt aware of the wide variety of back braces on the market today. One variety is the one-size-fits-all back brace, which is usually available in small, medium, and large sizes, and really fits no one very well. So why should customization be a major consideration by spine doctors for their patients? Because off-the-shelf spinal braces are designed to force the patient to fit into a prefabricated fixed shape brace rather than to accommodate the specific body type of the patient. Typically, such braces are less effective at immobilizing and aligning the spine, key factors in successful outcomes. The infinite variety of patient sizes and body shapes makes it a challenge to fit most patients with a non-custom spinal brace, even for the most experienced orthotists. Aside from the variety of human shapes and sizes, there are pathological differences which need to be taken into account to ensure that the brace fits well and controls spinal motion and spinal alignment specific to the pathology. A securely fitting orthosis is critically necessary to relieve pain, immobilize or align the spine following a compression fracture, for example, or protect a spinal fusion during the healing process. Even in the area of custom design and fabrication, there are differences that the patient and caregiver should be aware of, since these differences can affect the fit of the brace and therefore the quality of the treatment. At Ballert, our licensed certified orthotists work with our patients throughout their care, often making subtle adjustments to the brace to assure the best possible fit. Additionally, we never shortcut the process of modeling the patient body, as I will be explaining in the more detailed section which follows. We also closely supervise our expertly trained technicians to make sure that every detail of the practitioner's specifications is incorporated into the brace's design. To demonstrate our expertise, allow me to take you through the various steps involved in custom making a spinal brace. We begin by explaining to the patient that a custom-made brace was prescribed and what will happen during the measuring and casting process. We learn the patient's history and the patient's present condition. We discuss the details of the brace that was prescribed and the length of time that it will be worn. At this point, the patient is given a full body sock and asked to put it on while the orthotist steps out of the exam room. Upon returning, he examines the patient, now wearing the body sock, and looks for signs that might affect the fabrication or fit of the custom brace. In this case, it was noted that one of the patient's hips was higher than the other, requiring that the brace must be made to accommodate this shape. Bony landmarks were then identified and marked, and a series of measurements were taken. The bony prominences were marked because they may have to be avoided or used to better align the patient's spine. Using a fiberglass or plaster impregnated elastic bandage, the patient's torso was wrapped. The plaster wrap would harden in 5 to 6 minutes and would be cut off at that point in time. This negative cast would then be used to create a positive model of the patient's torso. The negative cast is then brought to the pouring room of Ballert's laboratory, where it is filled with a plaster slurry. While the slurry is still soft, a metal pipe is inserted in the center. Once the positive model has hardened, the pipe will serve two functions. It will serve as a handle to hold the model in a vise where it will be modified. And it will also serve as a point of attachment for the vacuum pump when thermoforming of the plastic brace takes place. The positive model of the patient's torso is carefully modified and shaped to provide the spinal alignment necessary to protect the surgery site and at the same time limit motion to facilitate healing. A groove is cut in at the waist to ensure that the brace remains in place during sitting or standing. The model is then smoothed before thermoforming. The next stage in the process takes place in the thermoforming room, where a vacuum line is attached to the end of the pipe and a nylon stockinette is pulled over the model. The plaster model is porous, so along with the nylon stockinette, it facilitates the force of the vacuum. A sheet of appropriate plastic is placed in an infrared oven where it is heated evenly to 400 degrees. When the plastic reaches the proper temperature, the vacuum pump is turned on. The now soft plastic is draped over the model and the edges are sealed. This thermoforms the plastic over every curve and shape of the model. The plastic needs to cool for between 2 to 3 hours until hardened. This thermoforming process is repeated 4 times for a lined brace in order to make the front lining, the back lining, the front plastic shell, and the back plastic shell. At this point, the hardened plastic brace is cut from the model. The edges are trimmed accurately to the lines indicated by the orthotist. The edges are then buffed and the straps are applied. The final product is then checked against the orthotist's order and the Ballert quality control standards. It is then labeled and it is ready for initial fitting of the patient. The patient is then fitted and final adjustments are made. The patient is instructed to wear the custom-made brace for a trial period, and an appointment date is agreed upon for a follow-up visit to fine-tune the brace. This custom fabrication process takes much more time than the mass manufacturing of the off-the-shelf models and even the so-called custom spinal braces. So you might think this is more expensive. The fact is, it's not. And all insurances, including Medicare and Medicaid, acknowledge their value and reimburse for them. Ballert custom molded to patient model spinal braces are in many cases less expensive than the off-the-shelf foreign manufactured models. Our custom molded to patient model back braces are recognized by doctors as the gold standard of spinal braces.